Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Welcome kindreds, it's Jessica the Story Witch, and today I'm going to do a tarot tag that I saw over on Dead Cheeky's channel. And when I saw it, I was like, that is so cool, I'm definitely going to have to do that, which is quite funny considering what the tag is about. It's about Myers-Briggs personality assessments, that kind of like personality assessment. And my type is the sort of type that would definitely love this kind of tag. So I thought, yes, I'm definitely going to do that. It's really cool. So basically how the tag works is you need to do your Myers-Briggs type indicator test. So you probably will have come across this before. It's the two women who designed the test, there's a mother and daughter who designed the test, and Dead Cheeky's got good links to this, which I'll put all of that and the link to Dead Cheeky's info down below as well. Basically they designed this personality test, which was based on Carl Jung's personality explorations, and the test puts people into 16 personality types based on their kind of answers to the questions, and it categorizes you along 4 different spectrums. So the spectrums are, what was funny is that I've actually dug into this quite a lot myself previously because I'm really interested in it, so I didn't need to redo the test or anything like that because I already had that info. The info I didn't have was how that the personality types match up to the court cards, which I thought was really cool. So that was new to me, so I'm really grateful for that. So basically the sort of scales that people are measured on, the first letter that you'll have as part of your indicator is either an E or an I, which stands for extrovert or introvert. And obviously that's not kind of like an either or. For some people they'll be very much one or the other, but usually people are much more like it's a scale. So I'm actually an E, an extrovert, which kind of makes sense, I guess, for people being on YouTube. I've noticed quite a few people who've done the tag and who've commented on the video are also extroverts. But I always, I've done this test so many times because I'm always like, no, I'm totally an INFP, you know, of course I'm a dreamer, I do all that. But really, when I kind of dig into it, especially as I've gotten older and kind of more comfortable with my own personality, I've realised actually, yeah, I do fall on the extrovert scale, although I do definitely need alone time to recharge energy as well. So I do sometimes get, because people think of extroverted and introverted as being like, if you're extroverted you love being out in people and with other people and kind of you're loud, and if you're introverted you're kind of a bit shy and withdrawn, and that can be the case. But from a Jungian perspective, the understanding of it is that if you're extroverted you gain energy from being with people, you kind of draw energy from that and it makes you feel energized, whereas if you're an introvert you actually gain energy from being alone. And from that perspective, I definitely identify more with the introvert side of things. I do need that alone time to be able to recharge my energy. But I have noticed actually that with certain people I am also able to gain energy from being in groups of people as well. So yeah, so I'm an E, and then the second letter, you're either an N or an O, no, N or S. It doesn't make sense, this one, because it is not the first letter. So if you're an N, it's the N for intuitive, which I'm sure lots of people who are doing this will have N as their second letter. And like as far as the scale goes for me on that, I'm like right up the end of the intuitive scale. Whereas the O, and not the O, it's not an O, is it? It's an S. The S is for observant, so you are taking in data from the world around you, what you're actually observing, rather than if you're intuitive where you're kind of like picking up on that information and you're responding to that. So yeah, I'm an N for that. And then the third letter is either a T or an F, and the T stands for thinking and the F stands for feeling. So for this one, for me, is when I do the test, I've occasionally come out as having the F instead of the T, but I more consistently come out as a T, and I think that probably is fair because I am just very slightly, it's like a 1% difference in the scale that I am on that thinking, whereas the F stands for feeling, and that is your mode of kind of like how you respond to the world. So yeah, so I'm on that, slightly on that thinking. And then the last letter is either a J or a P, and J stands for like judging, and P stands for like prospecting. So if you're a J, you tend to like, you use evidence and make decisions based on that, whereas if you're a P, you kind of go, oh, let's see how this turns out. And you'll kind of try things, so it's more of like an experimental approach. And yeah, and like I said, I'm a P on that last letter. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. And then the bit that I didn't have was this thing, which is on the website that's Dead Cheeky links, and I'll link it too, where this guy has assigned each of the personality types 2 different court cards. And when I was watching the video, I was like, I know exactly which deck I want to use to do this. I'm going to use the where's it gone? I can't find the box. The Chrysalis Tarot, because in this deck it has it gives names to the courts as well. So like I pulled all the courts out to show. So I'm hoping that's showing okay. Maybe I should have turned the camera around to do it. If it doesn't work, I'll turn the camera around and film this bit again. But yeah, it shows the picture, but then also it's got like it calls them the troop, the court cards, and they have a name as well as their typical name, although the suits are quite a little bit different. So cups, instead of being cups, is mirrors, it's scrolls instead of wands, and spirals, scrolls instead of swords, spirals instead of wands, and stones instead of pentacles. So it's this like slightly different, but you know, you can still feel that it's the same sort of energetic pattern. So my card would be, and I did pull it out and I've probably buried it under something else, for ENTP, which is my type, would be the Knight of Swords, which did not surprise me very much because I'm air energy, sword energy is very prominent in my chart as well. I don't really have a definite matron and patron deity, but Mercury is definitely very close to my heart and very present in my astrological chart. So yeah, having that air and the night energy, that kind of like vigorous energy, although today I have got a cold again, my second cold. It's St. David's Day here in Wales today, and I very rarely get colds, but I haven't been looking after myself properly. As if you saw my my Viata Wildfeather, where I did like a High Priestess spread, I talked about how I hadn't been really looking after myself, and that's something that I'm focusing on definitely for the next moon cycle now. Almost full moon in Virgo. I'm sure things are coming to a head for me now. I need to sort of release those things that are not serving me. It's snowing like mad outside. We've got a red severe weather warning in place for where I live in South Wales in the UK at the moment. So I'm hoping that storm doesn't take our power out and stuff like that. So fingers crossed it'll kind of blow over and it'll be okay. But my children are really excited to go out and play in the snow once it finally stops hammering down with snow. But anyway, yeah, back to the tag. So my card is this one, which is the Visionary Knight of Scrolls. So I'll read what the guy who assigned the tarot tags to them first, and then I'll read what it says for this card in the little white book as well. So ENTP, Knight of Swords, quick, ingenious, stimulating, alert and outspoken. Who, me? Resourceful in solving new and challenging problems. Adept at generating conceptual possibilities and then analysing them strategically. Good at reading other people. Bored by routine. Will seldom do the same thing the same way. Apt to turn to one new interest after another. Yeah, I'm going to put my hand up and say, yeah, all of that is me. So yeah, and then so the Knight of Scrolls, the Visionary, who is like this kind of wizened old guy. One of the things I like about this deck, although it doesn't totally do it, but And I love Renee at Find Your Light. She talks about this all the time, about ages of the court card. You know, like a lot of the time the queens and the pages will be really young and beautiful, and the knights usually young and beautiful, and then sometimes the kings will be old, but generally they don't have representations of older people in the cards. But this deck does a little bit. One of the queens is older, but obviously this knight is also older. And what did I do with the little white book? I should have found all this stuff. I'm blaming my cold for this because I am not as on the ball as I usually am. Or maybe I'm not usually. No, I think I'm usually pretty on the ball. So I'm looking for the visionary. This card comes out a lot for me in spreads as well. It's like a little bit of a stalker card, but more kind of just reminding me of who I am, really. So I feel like it's, you know, it's kind of like a home card for me. So in this deck, the visionary, Knight of Swords or Knight of Scrolls, and the attributes are of healer, traveller, and the role is of a mystic. With his exotic rattle, I'll hold it up so you can see the card while I'm talking about it. With his exotic rattle and joyful minor bird, the visionary is the troop's spiritual healer. He resolves conflicting energies that confuse or misguide you. He helps you acquire patience as you await good things from beyond new horizons. New beginnings offer abundant possibilities, yet it is important to progress deliberately, step by step, pursuing pathways of light with a clear and open mind. How do you discover pathways of light? Eat wisely, meditate frequently, and love unselfishly. The visionary helps you to appreciate life holistically. And I love that message. I am completely kind of on board with that, and I do feel very happy about that being my card, although I don't so much identify with the beard. And then Dead Cheeky wanted us to show the other courts that are in the same category, so I'm going to show you the rest of the knights which are in this deck, and I'm sure all of you will have seen this deck before. Obviously it's like a kind of oh, I can hear my kids coming up the stairs. I'll take a little break and I'll get back to you. Oh, sorry, I'm back. My little boy wanted to put his Elsa Frozen costume on, obviously, because it's snowing. I was like, you can't go outside wearing that though. It is really, really freezing. It's supposed to be like -11 at the moment. So anyway, well, oh, I know, I was showing the other knights. So the other three knights, we've got the Knight of Stones, the Illusionist, and he obviously would be Knight of Pentacles, that kind of more grounded, earthy energy. He's obviously younger. He's also got a bird in the picture too, and you know, it's that kind of green, almost like more springy kind of energy. The Illusionist. I won't show that one yet. The Corsair, who is the Knight of Spirals, who's basically a pirate. And that's that kind of fiery, do your own thing. And then my husband just called me as well. He's actually on tour at the moment, so he's not home. I just seem to be destined to not get through this video without interruptions, so hopefully we can get to the end of it this time. So the Corsair, Knight of Spirals, and the Dreamer, Knight of Mirrors, who does look also very thoughtful and dreamy. And this is the card I believe that I would be, and it's the card that Dead Cheeky said she was as well, because you know, when I was talking about the different personality types, I said that I'm very borderline between the feeling and thinking. So that third letter, even though I'm a T, I'm very, very borderline for the F. And if I was an F, then this would be my card. And I thought it'd be cool to kind of read. This is what it says in the on the website about that. Knight of Mirrors, Knight of Cups, which would be ENFP, warmly enthusiastic and imaginative, see life as full of possibilities, make connections between events and information very quickly, and confidently proceed based on the patterns they see. Want a lot of affirmation from others and readily give appreciation and support. Spontaneous and flexible, often rely on their ability to improvise and their verbal fluency. And so I definitely recognise aspects of that in me as well, because obviously that is very close to what I am. And like I said, sometimes when I do the tests, this comes out, but most often it is this. And I think really that is a kind of more true, I do identify with both of these, but I feel like the visionary, the Knight of Scrolls, the Knight of Swords is more me. And I think that's why also I get a little bit affronted sometimes when people are kind of very down on the knights. I find, you know, they're like, oh, they're just so impetuous, and especially Knight of Swords, you know, like as if you want to go around like slashing stuff up. And yes, you know, it is vigorous energy, but there is definitely a place for that, I feel. And so you know, as with all the cards, there's a time and a place for everything, and sometimes that energy is not appropriate, but there are definitely times when that energy is appropriate. So I think, as with all the cards, you know, that there shouldn't be like a down on the knights. Up with the knights, you know, let's all say hooray for the knights. So yeah, so I think that was everything that we were supposed to do for the tag. We were supposed to talk about a card that we kind of if we didn't identify with our own cards, what we would want to be. And like I said, back in the day when I first discovered these Myers-Briggs personality tests, I used to think that I should totally be an INFP, because they're kind of like the dreamer and the let's see, what would that be? So that would be the Page of Cups. Let's see what that is in here. I pulled all the pages out as well. So Page of Mirrors, the healer. Okay, so that makes sense as well. So I do, I could see in myself some of the aspects of this card, you know, but actually my energy is more, it's more this, it is more, I guess more vigorous, and kind of a little bit more mature as well. Not saying that INFPs are immature, but it is that kind of maturity of soul, I think, is what I mean here. I hope, yeah, I'm not trying to offend anyone. So sorry if I'm offending you if you're INFP. Hopefully it wouldn't, because if that is your true personality type, then you totally identify and resonate with that, hopefully, so you would not feel offended by that. I'm just kind of saying that I would have thought I wanted to be this, but actually I do feel really comfortable being the Knight of Swords. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm really sorry about my cold. I'm going to try and do another tag video as well today, film another one today, because I know that things are a bit hectic at the moment, and yeah, I want to just try and get some, because the tarot community is so awesome, but the tags just come up so frequently that I'm struggling to kind of keep on top of it and do my other sort of witchy content as well, which I do feel committed to. I want to be making videos, not just tags. I want to definitely be doing kind of from the heart content as well, that I hope will also be useful to people. So yeah, but I'm going to try and get as many tags done as I can as well, because it is really interesting. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll put all those links for the tag down below, and if you want to do it, that'd be really cool. Definitely let me know in the comments if you are doing the tag, or what you thought about the different personalities and stuff, and I'll put all those links so you can do the tests and things as well. If you are the same personality type as me, then I'm sure you'll definitely want to do it. And also if you are the ENFP, you will probably want to do it as well, because we are that kind of analyst, rational personality types who like to think about these kind of things. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you very soon.